Hey guys, this is Ratsasan and today we will talk about the South Indian film Master. This will be a spoiler-free review. Master is a film where an alcoholic professor is enrolled in a juvenile prison facility unbeknownst to him. There he soon clashes with a ruthless gangster who uses children as scapegoats for his crimes. Let's start with the positives. The villain Bhavani, played by Vijay Sethupathi, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he is a treat to watch. He plays this antagonist in a psychotic, menacing, and psychopathic way. This is the first film I have watched of this actor, and he is truly a treasure. His delivery and his mannerisms are uniquely his own. The character is given a proper backstory from his young teenage years to his adulthood. We see this progression of this character from start to end, and that makes that character quite relatable to the audience. He was the first character to be introduced in the film, so I thought he was the hero because I had not seen any trailers or posters for this movie. I just went ahead and watched it. Now, because we have seen this backstory of this character, we feel sympathy towards him despite him being a ruthless, true antagonist. Another point about this movie and South Indian films in general is that they have developed this unique signature in color grading that they have in their movies. These movies feel distinctly their own and have a slightly higher quality of production. Even if what we are shown is not cinematic, the way they are presented and the way they are processed in post-production makes you think that this is a very costly product. Just in a few years, they have taken giant leaps to make their film look extremely cinematic. This movie is no different. The colors, the composition, and everything technical aspects of the movie are very well done. One thing South Indian movies have really captured and understood, including this movie, is how to use the sun to make their even mundane shots look cinematic. Even if the shot contains a person walking, they can make it look cinematic just using the sun and slow motion. There is a song in the film called Master the Blaster. I think that's the name of it. The song is in the tune and genre of reggae music, which was popularized by Bob Marley. The song has the absolutely chill vibe, which suits the protagonist in a perfect way. The protagonist is the living embodiment of the song, and the song is a perfect description of the protagonist. I still listen to this song because it's so good, but it also serves as a narrative purpose in the movie because it perfectly describes the tone of the movie where it is placed. The music department has done an excellent job all around. Now let's take a break from the positives and get into some problems that I noticed in the film. The movie takes quite a while to begin. The real story that is described in the log line that we see does not take place at least an hour into the movie. That's a long time. The movie starts with the backstory of the villain, which is short and concise given the time period it is showing. That was actually great because it showed how the villain functions, what he thinks, how his psychology is. But after that section is done, we get into the story of the hero, that is JD. But we don't see the story that was actually shown in the log line. The log line of the movie, if we search on Google, it says JD, an alcoholic professor, is enrolled to teach at a juvenile facility unbeknownst to him. He soon clashes with a ruthless gangster who uses children as scapegoats for his crimes. Now, this section does not happen until an hour in the movie has passed. That is a very, very long time. So what happens before that? We follow JD where he is a professor in a different college. Only 2 or 3 elements of this subplot is actually used in the movie later on. The movie should not have given such a large duration of the story to such a small subplot which does not have that much of a significance later on in the movie. It could have been completely cut out or at least reduced significantly. This subplot of the movie contains what I call the South Indian film elements, namely the ultra mega hero worshipping even before we get to know the character, making the character weaknesses of the hero into looking like strengths, making strengths look like super strengths, and the song and the dance. Now, many of my friends and people I have met actually love these South Indian film elements, the dancing, the hero worship, and all that cool stuff. And I'm pretty sure audiences in the South, which are the core audience of this film, also love these elements. Just like science fiction enthusiasts like myself enjoy the world building in movies, or Salman Khan fans wait for their bhai moments, for many, these must be the highlights of their movie watching experience. For me, these South Indian elements are a no-go. I dislike those a lot, and I actively try to avoid films that contain these dancing and hero worship and typical South Indian film moments. It's just a personal preference. If you like those, that's fine, but they don't work for me at all. Ratsasan was the first film I came across which was completely devoid of these South Indian film elements, and I actually liked the film. Master falls somewhere in between, where it strikes a somewhat okay balance between the non-South Indian film elements and the South Indian film elements. I found it bearable. The pace of the movie and the story and the whole thing actually picks up when the movie reaches its midpoint, where JD enters this juvenile facility and starts experiencing what actually is happening in those juvenile facilities. His transformation from a drunk who does not care about anything to someone who has a purpose is very well handled. Actor who plays JD, that is Vijay, pulls this off excellently. I was very impressed with his acting abilities. The clashes between JD and the antagonist gang and the people inside the juvenile facility who are against JD is really well handled. How they escalate from one point to the next in hurting each other in a very creative way is magnificent. JD finds himself in locations and places and situations where he cannot go ahead and achieve his goals without breaking the rules ethically, and the way he overcomes these obstacles is done very creatively, and that is very fun to watch. I'm purposely being extremely vague so that I don't spoil anything. Towards the end of the film, things start to happen in a way that is somewhat feels like a shortcut. Character motivations and behaviors are changed to fit the plot of the narrative. There's a scene of speech that JD gives towards the end of the film. If you will see the movie, you'll definitely understand what I'm talking about. One other problem was the villain as a person himself was way too overpowered as compared to the hero. So the movie purposefully underpowers him by not making the villain involved in the story. If the villain was involved in the movie from the start, he would have crushed this character, this protagonist of ours, JD, quite early on. And it was clear that they wanted to make a mitigation such that JD can do his thing, and towards the end, the villain could be fully integrated into the story and fully be involved in the story. Such small things proved detrimental to the enjoyment of the movie. In the end, the people who like the South Indian elements stuff in the South Indian films, you will love this movie. Go watch it, it is on Amazon Prime. I did not find this movie as good as the other South Indian films I've seen, like Ratsasan, which I have made a video right here. For myself, I found this movie passable. I'll give this movie a B-. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.